In your estimation, how many women have you slept with in your life?
That's a good question. I never really counted. What do you think, T?
A lot.
A lot? How about a lot?
Lemmy says about 1,000.
Lemmy says about
And
1,000?
himself has had 1,000.
Oh, it's more than 1,000. That's for damn sure. Hell yeah. Let's just say a lot.
I, Ronald Reagan, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
Music's a definition of where the world's at that moment. It's like a snapshot of our society.
In the first term of Reagan's administration, America was a place where you could be very successful.
Everybody said, it's too much, it's so big. Well, those are the things that made it successful.
The vibe of metal is larger than life. Big power chords. And I think Republican governments have this big attitude.
Excess is definitely a huge part of heavy metal.
We wanted more people, more girls, more dope, more booze, more money, more fun, more.
If there was kind of a phrase, I think, to sum up the whole 80s thing, would be anything worth doing is worth overdoing.
La historia del metal. Episodio 3. Miradas que matan. A través de su historia, el heavy metal siempre ha estado enfrentado con buena parte de la sociedad. Pero algo muy extraño sucedió a principios de los 80. Una cortina de fuego de grandes sonidos y pelos largos parecen encajar perfectamente con esta nueva década de excesos. Por primera vez, el metal estaba de moda. E igual que la Reaganomía, la revolución empezó en California.
When you read encyclopedias for rock history, you're going to see the 64 British invasion has its chapter. You know, the Memphis 50s, Elvis has its chapter. 82, 83 LA will have its own chapter.
In those days, on the Strip, you could literally see a Wasp, Striper, Saxon.
Of people hanging out on the Sunset Strip, passing out flyers, trying to get you to go see their show.
Somebody would be at the Troubadour, somebody would be at the Whiskey, somebody would be at the Roxy. People would be and drinking and puking everywhere.
It was kind of like a gigantic frat party in your senior year that was going on every night. It was blatant hedonism. I mean, it's everything you ever heard, and 10 times more.
Sex just happened all the time. In the club, at home.
Church.
Back of a car, on the floor, up against the wall.
Not inside the church, but right in the back of the church.
In the parking lot, in the alley.
And looking up going, this is bad. This is bad.
I mean, on the way to a party, we'd stop the elevator and have a and then go to the party.
There were many a fine young lady that was willing to, how should I put this? To relieve you underneath the table while you were having pizza.
What's really amazing about the entire hairband scene is that these groups managed to sustain themselves, survive, put on pretty big stage shows in clubs, and none of them had any money.
It would come down to either buying beer or buying food. You think, well, you know what? If I buy food, I'm just going to be full. If I buy beer, I'll be full and I'll be buzzed. So, of course, you bought beer.
I had a closet that was 3 by 12, and I was there for a year and a half. No heat, no electricity. Living on less than $5 a week. And that's when you find out how bad do you want it.
I remember putting peanut butter on bread with a Social Security card at the Hollywood Bowl Motel. We had nothing.
Frankie Bonelli, living with a girl that was 2 doors down from me, my landlord had a white picket fence. And every day I'd come home and there'd be 2 or 3 slats missing out of that white picket fence. Frankie's out there stealing the fence from my landlord out there, and they're using it for firewood.
was brutal. But it was cool, though, you know? There was always this excitement in the air. I mean, just walking down the streets, walking down Sunset Boulevard, you just knew you were on the edge of something really cool. You know, you didn't know what was going to quite happen, but you knew something big was going to happen.
Para el 83, Quiet Riot fue una de las pocas bandas de Sunset Strip con una oferta importante de disco. Pero después de 2 álbumes y un tercero en producción, aún estaban batallando en la oscuridad hasta que llegó una idea.
I was doing a lot of demos, and a demo of mine got in the hands of a manager who was doing business with a guy who had his own little record company. And I guess he sort of liked what he heard, and he said, let's go in and do another demo with a cover tune, because, you know, cover tunes are always the safest way for record labels to feel that the band has a potential shot at a hit. So it came time to record in the studio. He says, well, let's do the Slade song, the Come On Feel the Noise track.
The song Come On Feel the Noise, that was the producer's idea to do the song, because he felt that Kevin's vocals were like Noddy Holder's vocals. And the logic of it made sense. Slade had a #1 hit with that song everywhere but the U.S. We hated it. We didn't want to do it. Kevin Dubrow was dead set on not doing it.
We didn't like the Slade songs too much. We were never huge fans, and we never even worked the song up, Come On Feel the Noise. We didn't even rehearse it. We didn't learn it.
We thought we had a good plan. Play the song. Play it bad. Forget about the song.
So it came time to record in the studio, and Frankie Banelli came with this arrangement, and I was making faces at him across the room going, you know, trying to make him screw it up.
And I just came up with that real simple little drum beat, and we started playing. I remember Kevin was sitting on the other side of the studio just glaring at me because he knew that it was sounding good.
I said to Frank, I said, well, you played really well on it. What am I supposed to do? What he says, no, I don't want to do this song, you know. And he says, well, just sing it. You can do that. You know how to sing it lousy. Come on, feel the noise. Girls, rock your boys. We'll get wild, wild, wild. I guess it turned out pretty good.
What you have on the record is the first take that we have. That was the first time we had ever played that song. Is what ended up coming out.
The album slowly climbed up the charts, and we then toured with Loverboy. Loverboy were extremely mainstream, extremely commercial. We opened ourselves up to a whole new audience of people that wouldn't necessarily have listened to or bought a Quiet Riot record in 1983, and we won those people over.
Cargado de canciones rítmicas, el LP Mental Health de Quiet Riot continuó subiendo audazmente en las listas del pop. Entonces, el 26 de noviembre de 1983, hizo algo que ningún disco de metal había hecho antes.
When I count to 3, I want you guys to scream so loud that your throats are gonna bleed. 1, 2, 3!
Metal Health se convirtió en el álbum #1 en los Estados Unidos.
You want metal? You got it! Metal Health!
It really is incredible because Michael Jackson and U2 and all these guys are on the charts, all these huge mainstream artists. And who the hell is this? Quiet Riot, Metal Health. And all of a sudden, this thing is the #1 album in the country. It really broke that last barrier for metal.
You know, I didn't really think of it in those terms. I was just wanted to get on tour. I wanted to be on a tour bus. I wanted to play rock and roll with my friends. You know, I was living my dream. It was more of a surprise to me than anything else when it started to climb the charts. I go, here we go.
We made record labels realize that there was money to be earned from heavy metal. So I think we opened up the doors to record labels saying, you know, let's go out and sign just about every other band out on the strip.
Heavy, la historia del metal.
We were the first band that was doing something that was against the grain of the time.
I think there's that rebellious part of us that wanted to really stand out and shock the out of people. We got away with murder.
That is a show.
Heavy, la historia del metal.